bound myself to the spirit of abundance.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Don't worry. No, you didn't. So in my tradition, what we would have said that you did was that you called forth a muerto, or the dead. Okay? So when you do these kinds of rituals, the very, very first energies that will be attracted to whatever it is that you're doing are going to be either earthbound energies or energies of the dead that have the ability to cross over. Okay? And here's the good news. The good news, the bad news is that you did not bind yourself to a spirit of abundance. The good news is that your spirit guides allowed a particular spirit of the dead to come into your space to assist you with your abundance, utilizing the skill sets of that particular spirit. So that particular spirit, as you described, was kind of like, this like girly girl, like yoga pants and like, candles and like all that. It's because that type of energy is what you need in your life right now in order to obtain the abundance that you're seeking. So if that spirit is logical, if that spirit is all about, completing tasks and having discipline and exercising and doing all the things that you describe that energy as being, then that means that those are the areas that you lack in. That spirit is there to assist you in obtaining those skill sets that will eventually lead to the abundance that you're seeking. You're not bound to abundance. However, if the intention was to bind yourself to something, you did bind yourself to a spirit of the dead, and you need to undo that, because spirits of the dead are not meant to be tied to anything. They can come and go. We can make contracts with them. We can work with them. They can help us. We can help them. But it would just be unethical. And I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's just kind of frowned upon to bind a spirit to you and force them to work for you. Okay? That's how we would look at it from my tradition. Okay? Another thing you want to consider as well is that when you are doing these types of work, right, spirits that are of dominion over large things like elementals or things that are archetypal in nature are not going to have the type of personalities that you hope that they have. These are energies that precede human personality and human behavior. So when you're dealing with these very, very large energies, it's very stale. They're all about business. So the fact that you were able to describe all of this stuff, all of this energy, you're most likely dealing with a spirit of the dead who is still very much connected to who they were as a person and they were let in by your spirit guides, because your spirit guides are supposed to be the ones that sort of filter whatever comes in and out, unless you haven't built any relationships with your spirit guides. If you don't know who your spirit guides are, if you haven't built any relationships with them, it's going to be difficult for you to discern what is coming in and what is going out and what is for you and what is not for you, without that help of the spirit guides. Anyway, I hope you found this information helpful. So bad news, you didn't bind yourself to a spirit of abundance. Good news is that the spirit that you did bind yourself to is obviously very, very nice and wants to help you out utilizing their skill sets. And so just make sure that you offer up something in return, and that you cut that bind once the activities and once the objective has been completed. Hope you found this information helpful. My name is Leilani. This is The Magical Solution, and this is how we grow.